Trump slams New Orleans terror attack as pure act of evil and blames illegal migrant. President-elect Donald Trump slammed the New Orleans terror attack as a pure act of evil and said an illegal migrant is to blame. Sources told Fox News that the suspect, who killed at least 10 and injured over 30 New Orleans partygoers, drove his truck across the border through Eagle Pass, Texas, just 2 days ago. The citizenship status of the individual has not yet been confirmed, according to the report. When I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true, Trump posted to Truth Social. The crime rate in our country is at a level that nobody has ever seen before. Our hearts are with all of the innocent victims and their loved ones, including the brave officers of the New Orleans Police Department. The Trump administration will fully support the city of New Orleans as they investigate and recover from this act of pure evil. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden is being criticized for his tone-deaf response after the overnight tragedy. Biden's first post on X in 2025 was a simple "Happy New Year, folks" at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's hours after the alleged attacker plowed into a joyous crowd on Bourbon Street around 3 a.m. local time. Furious social media users immediately pointed out his heartless blunder, calling it out of touch and insensitive. "Joe Biden is a heartless POS," wrote one user. "People lost their lives in a terror attack, and he just tweeted 'Happy New Year, folks. January 20th can't come fast enough.'" Another wrote in disbelief, "This is President Joe Biden's first post of the day. No mention of New Orleans or the victims. Shaking my head. It's utterly clumsy and tone-deaf," user at Let's Get Randy chimed in. The president had not directly addressed the deadly incident before making the celebratory New Year's post. Instead, the White House issued a statement saying he spoke with New Orleans Democratic Mayor LaToya Cantrell on Wednesday morning to offer full federal support. President Biden called New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell this morning to offer full federal support following the horrific news that a driver killed and injured dozens of individuals in New Orleans overnight. The White House said that Biden has been briefed on all the latest developments and will continue to get updates throughout the day. The FBI is leading the investigation into the horrific tragedy and is working closely with local and state officials. In contrast, Attorney General Merrick Garland quickly issued a statement saying the country woke up this morning to news of a terrible tragedy in New Orleans that killed at least 10 people and injured many more. "My heart is broken for those who began their year by learning people they love were killed in this horrific attack, and my prayers are with the dozens who were injured, including the New Orleans Police Department officers who risked their lives to save others." He said the FBI continues to investigate with assistance from the ATF and DOJ's National Security Division, along with the local U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Louisiana. The president is heading from Wilmington, Delaware, where he spent New Year's Eve, to Camp David, for what could be one of his final trips there with just 19 days left of his presidency. Biden just wrapped up a 5-day swanky St. Croix vacation before returning to the United States to serve out the remainder of his term. Biden, 82, along with his daughter Ashley Biden, Hunter, and his son Beau, and First Lady Jill Biden, spent his traditional New Year's getaway in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The president had little on his public schedule and spent his time basking in the sun at a beachfront villa owned by friends Bill and Connie Neville. He then spent the evening ringing in the new year at the wedding of his niece, Missy Owens. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump spent his New Year's celebrating at his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida, where his daughter-in-law Lara Trump performed. Biden, who meanwhile rang in 2025 with First Lady Jill Biden at their home in Wilmington, Delaware, was briefed on the attack ahead of the couple heading to presidential retreat Camp David. But New Year's morning took a somber turn for the country after a driver rammed into a large crowd before getting out of the vehicle and firing a weapon. Mayor Cantrell declared it a terrorist attack. The White House says that the FBI is on scene in New Orleans, Louisiana, to support local law enforcement, and that Biden will be briefed throughout the day on developments from the ground. Witnesses detail a suspect wearing full body armor and armed with an assault rifle. Police returned fire after the individual opened fire on the crowd. Videos circulated on social media from